Hi, welcome back to my channel. My name is Kayla and I like to talk about, a lot of things, but mostly I like to talk about books. So let's talk about some books. Today I actually want to do specifically a book of the month unboxing. So let's get into that. So I actually did a book of the month unboxing for not last month, but the month before's book of the month. Like I usually skip a month or two in between and then I get like a couple books at a time, just because that's kind of what works best for me with like the subscription. I'll definitely often have months where like I have a lot of other stuff that I want to read, so like book of the month doesn't really fit for me. I really like the feature that you can like skip a month and then get maybe 2 or 3 books like the next time you order. So that's what I did. It's been 2 months since my last book of the month. My last one was in December and this one is for February. Although to be totally honest, I probably won't start reading any of these books until March, just because I already have some books that I want to finish this month, and I just was like, it's been a really hectic month for me with moving and everything, so I actually haven't really been reading as much as I normally do. I also have just been getting into watching Euphoria. So I've been spending a lot of my free time watching Euphoria. I mean, I guess not that much free time, but you know. Anyway, enough talk about Euphoria. Let's get into this book of the month unboxing. I only remember one of the things that I ordered. I swear, I like always do these late at night and I like can never remember what I ordered. Oh, there it goes again. But this time I do remember one of the books that I ordered, and I'm super excited to see kind of what they did thematically this month, because they always have these cute little like bookmarks and stickers and stuff like that. Like they always have like a cute little extra that makes it feel kind of fun. Anyway, here we go. This is just the classic box, so cute. So my first book is called A River Enchanted by Rebecca Ross. I like vaguely remember ordering this now, and I really just like, honestly, I like the cover. I think it's super appealing. It looks like a good size book, like pretty solid, nothing crazy long, but definitely like a read. I don't know who here subscribes to Book of the Month or knows about it, but it's always like pretty nice hardcover copy books, so that's always like, honestly, it's a really good deal. But that's always really nice, and a lot of them are like new or sometimes even early releases. This is a book about a guy who basically returns home to, I think he lives on like an island, or he lives in like kind of a, he comes from like kind of a rural small town place, and he returns home basically because these girls are like all going missing, and for some reason they think that Jack is like the only person who can find them. I'm not entirely sure why that is. There's definitely like, I think, some light magic or mysticism in it, so I just thought that this would be kind of an interesting read. It reminds me a little bit of another book I got from Book of the Month last time, I think like 2 months ago, and I actually did a full review on that. I'll leave it around here, but it kind of gave me like the same vibes just from the synopsis as that, so I don't know, but I had mixed feelings about that book, but overall I thought it was like a really cool kind of concept and a cool idea. And same with this one, I thought it just sounded like there's maybe a little bit of a mystery, but also like some light magic and mysticism thrown in, so I may or may not do a review on it, kind of depending on if I feel like it, but this looked pretty good. I'll probably read this in March, to be honest though. The author is named Rebecca Ross. I don't think I've ever read anything by her before, so let me know below if you're familiar with this author or if like you've liked anything she's done. I don't know if she's even written other things, but this sounded pretty cool. The next book is actually the one that I remember ordering because I got really excited about it, and this was like an add-on book. So a lot of times if you have extra credits like I do from like skipping a month or two, you can use those credits to do add-on books that aren't necessarily one of the chosen books of the month, but they're just like an extra, and this was one of those, I think. Yeah, and it's Death on the Nile by Agatha Christie. I believe this is being made into a movie this year, so I was like, you know what, I should get this and read it before the movie comes out. I love like mysteries and thriller suspense, and obviously Agatha Christie is like known for her mysteries. The premise is that these people are on like this luxury cruise cruise, obviously on the Nile, and that somebody, I guess, dies. It's like a murder mystery. All of the passengers are kind of like stuck with one another, and I feel like that's a really realistic setting for tensions to rise, and it's also just like a really interesting setting for like mysteries to come up. I feel like one of the big things about mysteries is a lot of the elements of building a good mystery are kind of like the same, and that's why the setting feels so important, because like a lot of the core elements of building mysteries, like it's kind of formulaic, and the setting just helps lend a lot extra to a mystery book. So I'm really excited to read this. This is actually probably the first book that I will read of this Book of the Month box. I may get into it this month. It may honestly bump out the second Wheel of Time book on my TBR list. On my to be read list. This might actually bump up a little bit above The Great Hunt, because I just am like really intrigued to read it. Honestly, it like matches my outfit today, and I feel like that's a sign that this should be the next book that I read. I'm sure a lot of people watching this have already read that book, and let me know below if you enjoyed it. I just have not read enough Agatha Christie. The author that turned me on to mysteries was Sir Arthur Conan Doyle and the Sherlock Holmes stories, and before that I really didn't read that many mysteries, and I just like just never had really picked them up. I don't know why, and that was like what turned me on to mysteries. So I like still haven't gotten into a lot of other like really classic mystery authors, and I'm really excited to do that because I just love it. They always have like a cute little bookmark, so you can like just have a little bookmark for your books for the month. And this one says BRB ignoring my responsibilities, which is kind of such a vibe for reading, so I like that a lot. The last book that I've gotten here is The Remains of the Day by Kazuo Ishiguro, and this just again is like a really, I feel like a really classic book. So basically this is like a really classic book about an English butler who is aging and sort of towards the end of his career and his service for a great English man. He like basically recounts the past like few decades of his service and like kind of questions. I don't know, I feel like I haven't read it, so I don't know like all of the details, but he basically kind of questions maybe a lot of what he's done and the person he's been like devoting his life so much to. And what I can gather is that this is a story largely based on and around regret. So yeah, so this is just a really interesting sounding book. I know it's like very classic for a lot of people, and obviously it deals with like regret, looking back on your life, your career, maybe like being careful about what you spend a lot of your time on. So it just sounded really good, and I was kind of surprised that this was an option for an add-on. So I was like, I think I have to get it, because it's one of those kind of been meaning to read things, sort of like Man's Search for Meaning. There's just some books that like I come up with, I'm like, oh, that's right, like I've been meaning to read that for literally years. I keep hearing about it. So this is one of those. I'm also really excited to crack into it, but also not in a rush. So this might be something that I maybe even wait like a couple months to read, because it just feels like something that you definitely want to savor, but also maybe be in a certain type of mental space to read. And I feel like I'm not in the healthiest, clearest mental space to read something like this, so I feel like maybe I'll wait a little bit and appreciate it more later. But that is it for my book of the month. Like I said, I usually like skip a month or two, and then I get like 3 books at a time, because it's just way more fun that way and it works better for me that way. But yeah, anyway, that is gonna be it for this video. Just kind of a quick unboxing for my book of the month. Let me know below if you agree or are interested in any of these choices as well. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. Please like, please subscribe, and I'll see you later.